This is the 2019 movie draft. Give me a round of applause. I'm Joshua Davis, and can we go down and introduce yourselves?
Morgan Woodward.
Kenrick.
And this is the 2019 movie draft. I don't really know what else to say. If you're not familiar with a movie draft, we are going to essentially take turns in a snake draft style, which means we'll go 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1, and so on, picking movies in 6 different categories. We have drama, foreign language or comedy, action or horror, blockbuster, which is a movie that made $100 million or more at the domestic US box office, and Oscar nominee, which is any movie that was nominated for an Oscar, and then a wild card option, which is any movie we want. And there's not like a documentary category or animated category, but those are on the table. If you want to make the case that those belong in a certain category, you definitely can. That's...
I'm going to have 2 things that will come up during this movie draft that I will have to fight you guys about.
Okay, I'm looking forward to that.
I've talked to someone else about it and they agree with me, so we'll see how this.
Okay, alright. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, I already had this conversation.
And in addition to the 3 of us, we also have, over on the bench, we have Mariana Rico and Kendall Corson.
Thank you. Thank you. Where's your list? Oh, okay.
And we have Bells, Morgan's dog, as well, hanging out with us here at Morgan's apartment. Off to such a great start.
You want to select that order?
Oh, yeah, okay.
So Mariana's going to figure out our draft order real quick.
J. Joshua gets to go first.
I'm going first. You can put the J in front of the camera to prove to everyone that it's not a lie.
I don't know.
J. I get first pick. Okay.
Aggressively. Oh!
And there's Bells.
There's Kenrick.
Awesome. Good. So I'm gonna go.
Kenrick's going second,
Good.
She's gonna be better out here, I promise.
which
And
means...
Then Morgan, you go last.
Morgan
I'm so
gets
sorry.
third
Saving
pick.
the best for last.
And I'm going to real quick make sure this is all still working. All right, we're looking good.
Nice.
In which case, so we have our draft order. Before we get started, do you guys want to talk about 2019 as a movie year?
Sure.
Kind of what it was.
Where were you in 2019 as movie watching? I'm a firefighter. I was in paramedic school, so this year was like the year I watched probably the most movies I've ever watched in theaters, I think. So I think I got AMC stubs this year because we did Movie Pass for a while. Did you guys do Movie Pass?
Mm-hmm.
I did not do Movie Pass, but I followed all the drama.
Yeah, so we did Movie Pass for a while, and then we got AMC stubs, and I moved into my house in 2018, so 2019, me and my brother and my best friend watched a lot of movies, a lot of them in theaters. So I didn't have to go back and pretty much study any of these movies. Yeah, there's not any. I think the only movie I didn't see that I should have probably seen is Ford vs. Ferrari. Otherwise than that, I was pretty good on all of them.
Okay. What about you, Morgan?
I got really into watching movies in the late of 2018. So I think I also watched the most movies in theaters I've ever seen in 2019. And it was also just a really good year, and I was at SCAD, and I went to the film festival where I saw a lot of movies, so...
Well, in 2019, it was definitely the first year that I got into movies.
You're the youngest one out of all of us.
I'm the youngest one. I'm only 20. You guys are in your 20s. And so for me, I've always liked movies.
Sure.
I've always been a movie person, but for me, movies for a long time was just Star Wars and Marvel and Pixar movies. I didn't really get into,
movie movies?
movies, like David Fincher or whatever, Quentin Tarantino, amateur directors.
Until before 2019, I was into
2019.
movies. 2019, I was into film.
Yeah.
Film. There you
That's
go.
where we're at.
I think that's where I'm at. And so I saw all the big movies in theaters that year for the first time. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Joker and Parasite.
What
movies in theaters.
got you into that? Because that's a weird transition for a lot of people. Did someone
Yeah.
show you, or did you just join it, or?
It was always something that kind of interested me.
Sure.
The idea of I was really into Oscars and stuff like that. I just thought it was so cool. Just the idea of making movies in general And then when I kind of like read more and listened to more, like watch more YouTube videos, listen to more podcasts about movies, and just kind of like fell into like, you know, what great movies are. You know?
Sure.
You grew up hearing about like The Godfather or whatever,
Yeah.
but I never really explored into these things for myself. And so
Yeah.
it was this year that it sort of just like something kind of flipped, and then I started kind of exploring these things for myself.
What about you, Morgan? Did you like have
I
a
was
way you got into it?
in film school,
Okay,
so
that makes sense.
it was around me everywhere.
Yeah.
But I think that's also the year that I started like a film club.
Yeah.
Where we actually just like sat and talked about movies, and that just made movies a million times better. So
That's what's up.
yeah.
So I think I've probably been into movies like this a little bit more longer than y'all, because 2014 is when I was like pretty much on my game from then on.
Great movie
Like,
year though.
It was a really good
Yeah.
movie. I remember Grand Budapest Hotel was like, I watched a lot of movies before that, and then that movie was like, ha, I get it. And ever since then, I'm pretty on it.
Honestly, that was like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood for me.
Yeah.
I like saw that in
Really?
theaters, and I was like, this is what film can be. This is
Sure.
really, because like nothing really happens in Once Upon a Time. And I'm sure we'll talk about it later in the draft.
Yeah.
But like, because nothing really happens, but it's just so like ethereal, and like it like it transports you to a place
Sure.
like nothing I had seen up to that point,
Yeah, that's
and
good.
that was kind of what made it so like really insane to me.
Well, speaking of that, you have the first pick.
I do have the first pick. I'm so glad I have the first pick because I would be remiss if I didn't pick Parasite first. Because Parasite is I'm gonna pick it in foreign language. Kendall's keeping track of this for us. I mean, yeah, Parasite. It won Best Picture in 2019. It's like such a smart, creative, funny examination of class and class difference. It's incisive. It's brilliant. It's I don't know. I don't like. It's genuinely. It's in my top 10 favorite movies of all time.
It
It's
is in mine too.
It's
It's
a-
perfect.
It's a perfect.
it's a perfect movie,
Yeah,
and I was like, I knew going into this, like, if I got the first pick, I would be an idiot if I didn't pick Parasite first.
I was hoping you weren't gonna pick that first, but I was hoping you were gonna go with the Quentin Tarantino stuff. But
Yeah. No, I mean, I love Once Upon a Time, but like, Parasite is just the best.
it is the best.
It is
It's the best. pick.
About as close to perfect.
I think Parasite is the movie I saw the most ever in theaters. I think I saw it 4 times separately in theaters.
Wow.
Like
Yeah.
I fell in love with it. It was also like it's a really cool movie to show people that are not into movies. Like
Yeah,
the pacing,
absolutely.
like you really don't know. I at least didn't notice the subtitles. The pacing's really cool.
Pacing.
It has like this. It's way funnier than people would expect, and it's way funnier than people would expect, and it also has like that little thrill part to it. So it's a perfect movie.
It's a perfect movie. Kenrick, you have the next pick?
Yeah, that's good. The next pick, I'm gonna go with Little Women in
Wow.
Drama.
Such a good movie.
Little Women
That is
I honestly don't think I expected The Women to go this early.
Yeah, Little Women is probably it's definitely one of my favorite movies. I'm a huge Greta Gerwig fan.
Yeah.
Lady Bird is probably my favorite movie of all time, and my expectations for this movie were like sky high. So
I saw Little Women New Year's Eve in movie theaters. My friends and I couldn't agree on a movie to go see, and so we saw Little Women just like randomly.
yeah,
And it was me and 3 other dudes who like are not into movies like this generally,
Yeah.
and we all like were like totally into it.
Saoirse
It was-
Ronan is. I have a picture of Lady Bird in my room, and like Saoirse Ronan is like looking over me as I sleep. So I have.
I
Like,
love that.
It's like a
Special
special
connection.
place.
Oh.
It's a special place for Little Women in my heart. But yeah, Little Women. It's a great movie.
that's the one movie I did not watch
Wow.
in 2019.
Okay, you
I
guys-
meant to watch it before this
I should
started.
have waited then a little bit,
And I didn't watch it.
because I could have picked that a little bit later.
But I don't think I would like it that much.
I would have
anyway.
done after Little Women.
It's not like my kind of movie, but
But see, I didn't think it was my kind of movie either, and I saw it in theaters 3 different times because I just like
Yeah.
was so taken in with it.
Okay, Morgan, you want to go first?
Morgan, you have 2
First pick.
picks.
okay, so I get 2.
You get 2 picks right now.
Okay. I think I'm
Let's
gonna
fight it
choose
down. Yeah.
my drama,
Okay.
Okay.
and I'm gonna go with Joker.
Wow.
Ooh, interesting.
Hey.
I don't know if there was like a more shocking moment for me in the movie theater in 2019 than when that moment in Joker when he's on the talk show and
Yeah.
So
man,
we watched, me and my friends, I watched a lot of movies together. We watched Kings of Comedy after Have you ever watched Kings of Comedy?
No.
I believe that's what it's called. It's like basically what Joker is based off of in the talk show part. Like it has the exact same. It's like a very old movie. The guy kind of goes crazy, but he goes on to like this talk show and does the exact same thing as Joker does. But yeah, Joker wasn't my. I have it on my list for like blockbuster and stuff. It was really low on my big board, but it's not like didn't do it for me like it did it for everyone else.
Yeah, I kind of feel the same way. Like, I saw it with a friend who really was into it. And I was just like, I mean, it was very well made. Joaquin Phoenix gives
It's a really good.
probably the best performance of 2019.
Yeah.
Like, he won the Oscar, he deserved it. But at the same time, it's just like, it just didn't totally do it for me either. But,
I'm really excited for Come On by him.
yeah,
Have
Mike Mills, who
Yeah.
directed it.
20th Century
20th Century
Women.
Women.
Yeah.
I love 20th Century Women. Such a good movie.
That should be a fun one.
I'm excited.
Joker though. Yeah.
Morgan,
So
you
they're
want to
dissing
talk
your
about
pick.
Joker?
Yeah, it's your pick.
Yeah,
Yes.
come defend your pick now that your dog's
Okay.
sequestered.
It's intense.
Yeah.
And it like kind of hurts to watch, and I don't think I'll ever watch it again. But it was good.
That's fair.
And I think it's like everyone likes it. Well, not everyone likes it. Everyone who likes movies likes the Joker. And I never like action movies or superhero movies, and I've never liked a DC movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I love Joker, so I get extra points for being something that I don't usually like that I really, really enjoyed.
Good point.
That is a good point.
What are you gonna do with your fourth pick?
Yeah, fourth overall.
You got a big gap after this one, so.
I'll go with action horror, and I'm gonna choose Us.
Good pick.
That's in my top 10, one of my favorite movies. The reason I got really into horror, it's just like so different from most horror films. And it's something about it, just I could watch it a million times and never get bored.
This is the year for me where it's like 2017 was a really good year for me with Get Out and Lady Bird, and I feel like Little Women lived up to Lady Bird way more than Us lived up to Get Out.
I agree. Get Out is
It's one of my top 5.
it's up there for me. It's in my probably like top 20 or so. It's maybe my favorite horror movie. You can consider Parasite horror a little bit, but
Yeah, you
Get Out is so effective,
Mhm.
so well made, and Us. It was good, but based on what I saw in Get Out, I think I was expecting a little bit more out of Jordan Peele. But it's definitely a good movie.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Yeah.
Also,
we
it
just
had-
trashed both of your picks.
I think the concept is what really got me with Us.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
It was
just
cool. The acting was really cool too.
yeah.
Guess my turn, right? For my
Yep.
second pick? My second pick is pretty easy. 1917 in action is gonna work. Actually, I'm gonna take it in blockbuster instead of action. 1917
Did it make-
in blockbuster.
Did it make $100 million?
Yes, it did.
I believe you.
It no, it didn't make $100 million in 2019, but it was also
Right.
released in
It-
December.
yeah.
Like,
That's fair.
yeah. So
Okay.
it like actually worked on me, man. Like the whole one shot trying to I think there's like 3 cuts or something total in the movie, but I mean there's more than that, but they have 3 obvious stoppages.
It blew me.
It really worked for me. I saw it in like an awesome theater. Wasn't expecting it to be as good. The actors were awesome. It was simple, pretty. The last scene when he was running was like really powerful. When they like when he walks up after like coming out of the river and like sees that whole platoon and like hears the guys singing and they're about to go to war, I was like, this is real. Like I like this. Yeah,
No.
I was a big fan of all the characters and that it worked for me.
As a theater experience, unparalleled. Like
Yeah.
the tension that he builds,
Yeah.
like Sam Mendes builds, is
Yeah.
it's really insane.
I was a big fan of that one.
Yeah, that's another one where I don't like war movies because they make me too sad.
Yeah.
But that one makes it so worth it in the end.
Yeah.
Like you really it's kind of slow for me, but you really get through it and it's so worth it in the end. It's like you just want to rewatch it.
There's
Like,
parts in that movie that like really hit me. Like, what's George McKay, the guy, the main actor.
Mhm.
There's like one scene where, spoiler alert, but like his friend gets shot, like his partner gets shot, and this group of people come and like basically rescue him. This plane crashes. The friend gets shot by the guy who crashed the plane, the people rescue him, and then they're like trying to take him to a certain point, but they get stuck in the mud, and he's like, everyone else is kind of like calm, but he's like freaking out, trying. I was like, chills all over my body. He's like trying to pick up the back of this truck and like screaming as loud as he can. This is phenomenal. Yeah, big fan of that one.
Great movie. I have 2 picks.
Yep.
And I'm thrilled because I really thought Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was going to get taken by now. But now I get to take Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and I'm going to take it in Blockbuster. Because it made $114 million, so just crossed the threshold, according to what I have right here. Actually, made $141 million, so definitely across the threshold. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah, I mean, Quentin Tarantino's 9th movie, he says, and it just works on me. It, like I said, nothing really happens, but everything that goes on is like he transports you to this time and place in like an unreal way. The performances are amazing. Leonardo DiCaprio and Brad Pitt, 2 of the best actors working today. They give great performances.
The kid actress was like really good too.
Yeah,
that little girl,
absolutely.
I don't remember her name. She was phenomenal.
Her character was Trudy.
Yeah.
I don't remember the actress's name, but she was great. I mean, the Spawn Ranch scene was phenomenal, and the ending. I mean, gosh, what an ending with the flamethrower! It's unreal.
It's a cool movie.
It's such a cool movie.
Fun.
Like
it's a good chill. Like it's a movie to watch that it's like it's not chill per se, but it's like.
But it's like
a Tarantino.
It's a Tarantino
They're all the
movie.
same.
It's like you just get to hang out and just let the movie wash over you, and it is so fantastic.
I think my expectations for this movie were a little bit too high though. Like everything else kind of lived up to my expectations. This movie, I don't know. The first time I saw it, it didn't like blow me away. The second viewing was significantly better.
Yeah,
but
I watched this movie. Even like before I knew we were gonna do this draft, I watched this movie. I rewatched, and then I watched it again because it just works on me. I own it on Blu-ray.
Since 2019.
And it just I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a good pick though. That's a good spot to get it. I thought that was gonna be your first pick.
Yeah.
No man, Parasite. How do you not pick Parasite? I was like, I told Eli yesterday. I was like, Parasite's going first. I don't know who's gonna get first, but Parasite's going first.
Yeah, definitely first pick.
I think I broke our pot.
What's your second?
My next pick, gosh, there's so many things I could do here. Like fix the camera. I'm gonna take Knives Out.
Yeah.
Knives Out, and I'm gonna take it an Oscar nominee. Because it was nominated for Best Screenplay at the Oscars.
I don't like Knives Out that much.
Wow.
Really?
I'm just gonna throw that out there.
No way.
I think it's fun and it's cute, but I also think that's like, and it has great actors.
Knives Out was, and again, like a theater experience.
It's fun.
But it's so much fun. It's so creative. I genuinely did not know where it was going the first time I saw it.
That's true.
And even when I rewatched it twice since then, and like once in preparation for this.
Yeah.
And like, it works. Like Chris Evans is awesome.
It's a great.
On a Day
I
on
think
This
it's like too easy for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Like
I love
it takes nothing out of you to watch it. It's just like, oh, okay, that was done.
I think they do. I think it's done extremely well. It had me on my toes the whole time. I love the cast. Chris Evans is awesome. Ana de Armas. Everyone. I mean,
everyone. I love my favorite. Toni Collette is the bomb. First of all. And secondly, in this movie is like a Gwyneth Paltrow style, like lifestyle guru.
Yeah.
Like it just works. She's
Jamie
so
Curtis is awesome in this. Still looking good. Like,
The whole cast is just incredible.
It's like it's funny. It's engaging. It's so clever. So creative.
Yeah.
Like
most people that watch this will enjoy this movie.
I think you're right. I think like even like I watch with my parents. Like my mom is not a huge movie person, and she enjoyed this movie.
Yep.
So yeah, I feel great about my two.
Maybe
picks.
that's why I don't like it.
I think Knives Out is very good.
I
think
got
I'm too pretentious.
I got my top 3 favorite 2019 movies.
Did you really?
I did.
Wow.
You can check my letterboxd.
That's awesome.
Morgan, you have a pick.
Okay.
Actually,
No,
I have a
Kenrick
pick.
has a pick.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Good, I wasn't
Thought
ready.
Morgan was going second. Kenrick has a pick.
I'm going to pick. I think we're gonna go with action,
Action.
and we're gonna go with Ad Astra.
Ad Astra.
Have y'all seen Ad Astra?
I
have
have not.
Not
Wow.
seen Ad Astra.
When I was looking into 2019 movies,
Kendall
it showed
doesn't know
up
what it is.
everywhere, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Is that
Ad
the,
Astra.
is that with Brad Pitt?
Yeah, it's his actually best performance of this year, surprisingly enough.
More than the one he won an Oscar for?
Yeah,
on
so
my time?
It's like, I don't know if you guys like sci-fi movies or anything like that, but it's
Sci-fi.
I'm a
been-
sci-fi guy.
so it's like a space sci-fi movie where Brad Pitt is a astronaut and
Brad Astra.
Brad Astra.
Brad Astra.
So it's a father and son movie. His father is somewhere in space. He basically tries to go on this mission to find him, and he's like the best astronaut. He's dealing with a whole bunch of issues, and it's like just a really cool journey. Brad Pitt does a really good job. I saw it one time in theaters, and it really worked on me. I really loved it.
Okay.
It's a little bit predictable, but man, I was a huge fan.
Okay.
Huge fan. And like,
Ad Astra.
it's definitely out of this year top 5 movies for me. Like, big
Very
fan.
nice.
I should have watched it.
I should have watched it too.
You
I
guys get
remember wanting to see it when it came out in theaters. I just didn't end up getting to make it.
It's not like necessarily. It's way more like an Arrival in the aspect of it's like more chill and like there's some action scenes, but it's not.
Yeah. Arrival is also like a top
Yeah,
15.
It's not. I mean, Arrival is
obviously.
it's phenomenal.
So
But yeah, I'm gonna go Ad Astra and action
Okay.
horror because there are some action scenes in Ad Astra.
okay. I'll take your word for it that it's a good pick.
Yeah.
Now Morgan has 2.
Oscar nominee.
Mm.
And I'm gonna go with Jojo Rabbit.
Figured that was in
Yeah.
That I mean, if we went this whole time without getting Jojo Rabbit, that would have been a shame.
It's just
Um,
funny.
Yeah.
And
no, it's
cute. It's like simple.
it's weird like how like genuinely like funny and heartwarming this movie is, given that it's about like such a
Yeah.
rough subject. It's about like the Holocaust and
Yeah.
Nazis, and Adolf Hitler is a primary character, and like, but it's funny and it
Yeah.
works, and it has like a genuinely like life affirming message.
So
Scarlett Johansson gives the best performance of
I
her
would say,
career
like, this
in
is
this
the-
movie.
Brad Pitt and
Any-
Scarlett Johansson this year, both of them between Ad Astra and Once Upon a Time, and then Jojo Rabbit
Yeah.
and Marriage Story. Like
yeah,
those
In-
guys kill it this year.
Yeah, this is Scarlett Johansson was also in Avengers Endgame this year. This is her year.
Yeah, it was a really good year for Scarlett Johansson.
Good for her.
Yeah, did she not win Best Supporting Actress? And
No, Laura Dern won.
Laura Dern won a Marriage
For
Story.
Marriage
Yeah.
Story, which
Yeah.
may or may not come up. But Scarlett Johansson should have won, in my opinion.
It's a really good one.
Scarlett Johansson gives the best performance of her career.
The kid's performance in this movie was phenomenal.
So good.
And then I can't think of the girl, but she's the girl in
She's Last Night in Soho.
Last Night in Soho now. And I feel like this is probably the first time I saw her in something.
This is definitely the first time I saw her.
Yeah.
Thomason
It's just a unique first name, like it.
Thomason McKenzie?
Maybe.
I think it's Thomason McKenzie. She's
But,
great.
Yeah, that was a good pick. What's your next pick?
Great pick, Morgan. Your best pick so far. Out of it.
Oh, okay. I would think it was the worst one so far. Do I get another one?
Yeah,
Yeah, you have 2.
Oh,
Keep in mind you only have one more after this.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, you have 2 more of those. I'm sorry.
We all have.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll pick one, then Kenrick, then I have 2. And Kenrick has one, then I have 2.
Okay. So I'll do my blockbuster. Part of me wants to choose in-game because I know everyone loves it.
Yeah.
But part of me doesn't like it.
I said that you were a big anti-superhero movie. You just said
I
that earlier.
am. In-game is one of the best ones, I think, but I might do it. Just for blockbuster.
You picking Avengers Endgame for Blockbuster?
Yeah. I'm gonna go with in-game.
Dang, that's how you win right there. That's how you win right
It's
there.
not even on my big board.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that was
I do not love it.
my number. That was gonna be my next pick for.
I
action.
think it's a miracle that they summed up everything they have done
Yeah.
and it wasn't terrible.
I like those movies. I'm not hating
And
on
it's
them.
like, yeah,
I'm
like
a
they're all
big,
fun. There's not a
like-
Marvel movie you
This
can't
is it.
watch.
I'm a big Marvel fan,
Are you?
and yeah, and Endgame isn't my favorite, but like
Yeah.
that last like 30-minute chunk
Yeah.
at the end is
It's
like
just cool.
like
Yeah.
you saw. I saw Endgame opening night. I saw it Thursday night, in like a packed theater because I knew like this is like something I'm gonna like tell my children.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be like, I saw this movie.
The people's
when it came out.
reactions when it
I feel
happened.
like
Just
this
people were just
is-
like going like insane.
It was the last movie that came out that was the ending of a big franchise.
yeah.
Like, I feel like when I was growing up, it was like you had the Hunger Games and the Harry Potter movies and the Twilight movies, and everyone got so hyped
I
in
remember
the theaters
like,
for these
seeing-
things. And then it like didn't happen for a really long time, and you got that same feeling when you went to go watch Endgame. And I think that's like what made the entire thing was just the environment that you got to watch it in.
That's a great point.
And there hasn't been one since.
And yeah, and on top of that, it is just like those horror movies. You're right; they're just entertaining. Like they know how to make movies that appeal to everyone. Like, you know, like fun jokes, talented actors. Another good Scarlett Johansson performance.
Yes.
Kenrick, you have a pick.
Yeah, this is kind of a hard spot right here.
Number 2 is a hard.
So I'm gonna go Oscar nominee, and I'm gonna go with Marriage Story.
Good pick.
Yeah,
Good pick.
this movie like really made me feel both sides. Like, man, both these people have points, and
Like
I feel for both of these.
at the
people
start
right
of the
now.
movie, I was like, oh, I hate Nicole. Like, why is Nicole doing this?
Yeah.
And then at the end of the movie, I was like, I hate Charlie. How could he treat her that way? And like,
Adam Driver is phenomenal.
I'm driving
Scarlett Johansson's phenomenal.
Mhm.
It was Laura Dern, obviously she won.
She
Best
won
Supporting
the
Actress, so
you know.
I mean, it was just a really. It wasn't like a fun watch, and that's not something I'm gonna revisit, and especially not with my significant other. Like, definitely not gonna watch it with
It's
someone else.
hard.
Yeah,
It's hard to get through.
yeah, but I did watch it, and it definitely worked on me. No bomb back. Sometimes he works for me, and sometimes he doesn't. And this one did. So.
See, the only other movies of his that I've seen is Frances Ha.
Yeah.
And Frances Ha worked.
Yeah.
And Marriage Story, it worked. It was like it was sad, and it also wasn't. You know, it, like
Yeah.
it just.
His other, I watched Mrs. America or Mistress America, I can't remember what it's called, but didn't really do it for me. Squid in the Whale and the Squid. I
Not
think
familiar.
that's another one of his movies.
Take your
And,
word for it again. Like Adam should.
But right, it was he does it for me sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I think
man,
that's a really
yeah,
solid
the Squid and the Whale
That's what I was talking about. Obviously.
and Mistress America are the other two movies of his that just didn't click for me.
Yeah, and Laura Dern, Scarlett Johansson, Adam Driver, and Noah Baumbach were all Oscar nominees.
Yeah.
So it was like,
So that was my Oscar pick. Your turn for 2 now.
I have 2, yes. And in drama, I will take Uncut Gems.
Really?
So I want to say this. I was actually, if I couldn't take Ad Astra, I was gonna try to take Uncut Gems for horror.
Oh, I
That
would have
was-
counted that 100%.
Okay.
No,
That is a horror
Uncut
movie.
Gems,
You can convince me anything with, what is his name?
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler.
Adam Sandler's a horror film.
Have you seen it though?
Billy
I love
Madison.
it. No, I love him.
Terrifying.
Yes, Uncut Gems is.
No, Uncut Gems.
Painful.
That's the thing. Like that movie. That movie. If you don't suffer from anxiety, like that movie will show you what it's like to have anxiety.
Did it
Oh
really
my
Because
gosh.
it is propulsive. It like I feel like it like grabs you like by the shoulders and pulls you in
Yeah.
and does not let you go until the very end.
I feel like
the continuous build and build and build it's so like tense. It's so well directed, and like Adam Sandler gives the performance of a lifetime. Second best of the year behind Joaquin Phoenix that's my take.
Yeah.
That's good.
I was
Because
gonna
Joaquin
say
Phoenix,
Joker.
Adam Sandler, 2 best performances of the year.
Joker.
And then those Scarlett Johansson and Jojo Rabbit in there too.
Yeah.
But like no, Adam Sandler. He's like the guy from like Grown Ups, right? Like no, he's a great actor,
Yeah.
He is.
and he like anchors this movie so well, and like his like constant like desperation and self sabotage. But he still endears you to him, even though he's such a terrible guy.
Have you guys seen the Safdie brothers' previous film? Good
I've
Times?
seen Good Time.
Yeah.
With Robert Pattinson.
I really like that one as well. I feel like this was like an obvious next level to that.
Yeah.
But
No, the
It
Safdie
was-
brothers are people to watch. They're up there with like Peele and Gerwig.
yeah.
Like they're gonna be the next generation of like great filmmakers.
This movie had me on like the edge of my seat, and I was talking to my brother before this, and I was like, I think this is a horror movie. Like,
I think that I would have given that to you for
out
sure.
of all of the movies I've seen this year, it like had me like more tense than any other movie this year.
More than Joker?
Yeah, I think so. Because I was like more invested in this movie
Yeah.
than Joker, and also I'm a huge sports fan, so like this all like hit way. I'm from New Jersey, so always around New York. Like it hit way closer to home than something like Joker would have. That's a good pick.
Yeah. If anyone has the little golden Furby and wants to send it to me, I will take it.
We got 2 more categories.
I have another pick.
Action.
I have action horror and wild card left, and I'm gonna do action horror. I love Marvel. I think I'm gonna take Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Wow.
Don't do that.
What?
I hate them.
No, okay. Spider-Man: Far From Home is really good. The ending kind of bumps me out because, like, you know, Peter Parker gets exposed, but like the whole movie leading up to it has Jake Gyllenhaal. We don't like Jake Gyllenhaal
That's a
anymore.
negative.
But it has Jake Gyllenhaal giving like a good villain performance. Like you like to hate Jake Gyllenhaal in this movie.
Yes, I do.
This
But
one.
it's such a fun, effective MCU movie. Tom Holland is a star. He is the best Spider-Man. He's my favorite Spider-Man, and he's the best Spider-Man. And I grew up reading Marvel comics, and he just embodies that character so well to me.
When I think of Spider-Man movies, though, Spider-Verse is like the
Oh,
first thing that
No question.
like I don't even consider these Spider-Man movies on the same level as I do like
No,
Yeah.
Into the Spider-Verse is
yeah,
probably my
that's-
favorite like animated movie
Yeah.
of all time. But I'm taking Far From Home in action horror because I also think that when we put this on, like, put the poll out, you know, people will want to vote for a Marvel movie. So it is a little bit of a strategic pick. It is also a pick that I like. It's like top 10 MCU, in my opinion. I love the MCU. I like this movie. Yeah, I'm satisfied with this movie.
Cool.
Now Kenrick has.
Yeah. I'm gonna take Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
There it is. I was waiting for you to take it the whole
Foreign
time.
language and comedy.
I thought, like, wouldn't it be funny if I took Portrait of a Lady on
Yeah,
Fire?
I-
Just
I
because
thought
I
about
knew
it
how
just
much
so
you
you-
love that movie.
It is my favorite movie this year. I know Parasite's a perfect movie, but Portrait of a Lady on Fire is like, it was very effective on me. I love both of the characters. I cried during the movie. I've watched it multiple times since. It's like
I watched it.
the prettiest movie I've ever
It's
seen.
stunning. I watched it today for the first time because I wanted to be able to talk about it with you because I knew you would take it today.
Like page 28 at the end, like all of the stuff about it, it really, really works on me.
It's beautiful to look at. It's like, again, like, I didn't feel like I was reading watching it. Like, I was just so taken in by it. I didn't
And
feel like I was reading.
There's not a lot of dialogue in this movie, so that also helps. But it is, it's one of the most beautiful things I've seen.
I like it.
Yeah.
But I think it's way too slow.
Sure.
Which usually I'm really into, like, really slow love stories.
Yeah.
Because you just really get to, like, get into the characters. But it was like a really slow love story that neither of the characters had, like, any personality.
Yeah, I thought that I can't remember their names right now, but the character that was getting sent off to get married, she was like kind of harsh and not bratty per se, but she was just way more like
She was my favorite character in the movie. I thought she, like, the painter to me was like kind of bland, but like, she was all the charm. The one getting married was all the charm.
there's like
But the
moments.
ending,
It's perfect.
the ending is so worth getting through every other thing.
There's moments in that movie.
It's a great name.
So there's one of the reviewers I follow, David Ehrlich. He does like a top 25 every year, and I like to watch all the movies that came out in 2019. I was like really big, and Fortunately on Fire was his number one pick, like for his movie that he loved the most, and I like watched that video 1,000 times. Like that little like minute part of the Portrait of a Lady on Fire stuff is like the prettiest shots and scenes, and
I want to go to the French beaches for
Yeah.
sure. Like,
I love it.
just to see like all that
So
stuff.
that would be my number one pick in this draft if I could choose all of them. Portrait of a Lady on
If
Fire.
you only got one movie 2019, it
Yeah.
would be Portrait of a Lady.
Parasite's
That
fairly
is-
close, and that's saying a lot because I saw Parasite a lot, and I love Parasite. Parasite is a 10. Portrait of a Lady on Fire, My brother watched it the other day and he was like, dude, it doesn't get better. It does not get better. For me, it doesn't get better.
Morgan, you have your last 2 picks.
Okay, so I get 2 of them in a row.
You get 2 in a row. You have foreign language and comedy and wild card left.
Okay. For foreign language, I'm going to do The Farewell.
Yep.
Whew.
I'm so glad it got taken.
Yeah.
So that was going to be my last wild card.
Yeah.
I was prepared to take it from
I didn't know if any of y'all have seen Farewell. I was kind of hoping y'all didn't.
I saw it in theaters.
Okay.
With my friend Jewel.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Jewel. We talk movies all the time.
Jewel, if you're watching,
Yeah.
shout out to you.
And it is just.
Is Jewel gonna watch this?
Oh, absolutely. Jewel's my biggest supporter, and her mom. Her mom will watch it too.
Hi, Jewel's mom.
The Farewell is just like so sweet, and it's a different culture, and I think Awkwafina does absolutely incredible representing like what she wanted
Yes.
people to see,
I think.
and it makes me cry, and it's just
It's like-
good. It's heartwarming. It's just good.
It's heart wrenching too. Like I mean, 'cause I think like it. I am so Western American. Like I genuinely don't realize how different other cultures are, and like Lulu Wang is another one like with Jordan Peele and Greta Gerwig. Like she's going to be something.
Yeah.
I'm convinced because this movie it took my breath away. And Awkwafina is so good.
Awkwafina is just,
We talked about the best performances of the year earlier, and I think the grandmother in this movie is like one of the best performances. But she just like made me want to hug her the whole time.
Yeah.
She's like the sweetest thing. Maybe some of my favorite scenes of the whole year came out of this movie. This is like a top 5 movie for me this year. Some of my favorite scenes when she's like outside with her grandmother and they're like both like exercising or whatever they're doing, and then at the end when she makes that sound and like the birds fly away, I'm like, this is perfect. Like I love this so much.
It's such a good
Awkwafina
movie.
kills it. There's some awesome moments in this movie. I saw it with my friends and myself, and then I also took my mom to see it because it's like a pretty good like family kind of story,
For sure.
and it was like a very crying, like sad type of experience. And there's a song called "Come Healing" that I still listen to. It's like when they're leaving when they're driving away and she's like waving, and that song that plays while they're driving.
Man,
I love it.
it's so good.
Love it.
Great pick, Morgan.
Yeah, it's a really good pick.
That's
Okay, Morgan, I think you got one more, right?
Alright.
This is your last
so,
pick, Morgan.
For my wild card, I'm choosing Fire.
I freaking knew it.
Specifically the Netflix one, not the Hulu one. With a Y.
Like the
What?
Fire Festival.
Yeah.
I have not seen this.
This documentary
Oh,
is hysterical. It keeps you on your toes the entire time. It is about something so ridiculous that you just like cannot believe your eyes of what is happening. It's the same experience of watching Tiger King, except it's like shorter and so much better.
It's the true story of the Fire Festival, which was like the music festival with Ja Rule was supposed to happen on Tropical Island. Yeah, it's a great documentary.
You watch
honestly.
it and you're like, there's no way this many people are doing this and nobody has stopped it yet. And you're like, it's gotta stop soon. And it just keeps going and you just like can't stop watching it. It's hysterical. I love it. I watched it multiple times this year.
That's awesome. It's a great movie.
cool. I'm gonna have to watch it.
You should
This is the
absolutely
first
watch
movie we
it.
picked that I haven't seen on this. That's cool. I'm gonna watch it for sure.
Nice.
Yeah, you done with that one?
Yes.
Yeah, you have wild card, Kenrick.
And this is kind of an argument. So the first one was the Uncut Gems horror. This is the second one. So if I can, I would like to choose a movie called Climax. Climax is like a French movie, and it wasn't released in America till March of 2019. So it was technically released in France in 2018, but no one can see it. So I don't know.
I'll count that.
I think it's fine. It came out in America. We're going like blockbusters
Yeah.
based on
Yeah.
American. We're all in America.
Sure. So
Go Climax.
have
yeah.
either of y'all heard or seen this movie?
No.
You briefly told me about it on Halloween.
Sure. It's a A24 release movie. Me and my friends went to see it before in the Atlanta United game, and it was very much one of my like weirdest.
I think Bell's throw party.
Super fun time.
So it's a movie about like these French people that are trying to go to America to dance, and they are in this gym. Someone spikes the sangria with LSD, and it becomes this crazy acid trip for the last like 40 minutes, and like and it's a horror movie. Like you are following these people through this like weird, sketchy gym, and it is like when I left, I like couldn't walk straight. Like it was ridiculous how awesome it was. It was one of my favorite experiences in theaters I've ever had. I've seen it once after this, and it was phenomenal. Even watching at home, it's very weird. It's hard to watch because the beginning is like it's slow. They're like interviewing a whole bunch of people and some like VCR tapes. It's like very strange, and then like there's a long dance scene, and then
the climax.
And then then there's like the climax, and you kind of figure out who spikes with the LSD, and it's definitely one of my favorite movies. I doubt anyone's seen this movie, but it worked for me.
Okay. I might have to watch it.
Yeah. Dark, quiet, loud. And you just have to watch the whole thing. There might be times where you want to stop, but it's worth watching.
You have to sit there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I had the last pick. It's my wild card. And I honestly have no idea what I want to take. Because pretty much everything's off the table that I was really hoping to get.
Climax was the last thing in your mind, huh?
Yeah, I was really hoping for Climax. I'm trying to decide if I want to go with something weird or something that I think might just help me.
Go with something weird. We've all gone with
something weird, yeah. Okay, I'm going to pick... Have you guys ever heard of The Art of Self-Defense?
Yeah, it's the movie after Climax on my top list.
So I was a martial artist for about 7 years. That was actually my first job, was teaching Taekwondo. I made it to black belt, and it was a really important part of my life. And I watched this movie with Jesse Eisenberg, which is all about like, it's so weird. It's just so weird.
So good.
He like kind of falls into this like cult of personality like sensei who sort of takes him on this journey of doing like all kinds of, terrible things basically, and it's just such a bonkers movie. Jesse Eisenberg's great. Mm-hmm. Alessandro Nivola plays the sensei. I've never heard of this guy before. Mm-hmm. He is awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, like for me, like as a once martial artist, this movie was just really, really connected with me. It just worked.
I love the humor of this movie so
much. It's genuinely hilarious.
Yeah.
Like it's genuinely hilarious.
There's a time when they say the dog gets hurt, whatever, and it's like the dog seemed like it got kicked, but it looked like a punch. Like, and it made like there was like a reference in that earlier, and I was like truly like really laughing. This movie, I saw this in theaters, and then I watched it again last year, and I love this movie. I was talking to her about it the other day, and it was like, it is phenomenal. Okay. It's a really good pick. That was after Climax, that was my next movie.
Alright. No one was going to pick Climax.
I know.
Well, Morgan's tending to her dog. But are there any other movies from 2019? Morgan, if you want to mention something.
Frozen 2. Shut
Really?
up.
Frozen 2?
It's one of my favorite movies.
Really? I have not
It's
seen
beautiful.
Yeah.
You could have taken Frozen 2 in Blockbuster.
The story is
Could have left
nonsense,
Avengers Endgame.
but it's funny and the music is great, and it's the only Disney movie I really like.
Wow.
Except for the first Frozen.
What about you? Are there any other thing else?
We didn't talk about Ford vs. Ferrari, which is pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. I don't know, it's pretty regular. We didn't talk about Midsommar, which is...
Was that 2019?
That's 2019.
That wasn't on my list.
Mm-hmm.
Which is a truly demented movie, but it's very good.
No, it's on my list. There's two movies that I love that I didn't talk about, and that's Doctor Sleep. Mike Flanagan, have you seen that?
I'm a huge Mike Flanagan fan. I have not seen Doctor Sleep.
Doctor Sleep's way better than it's supposed to be. I really enjoyed that. I fell in love with Rebecca Ferguson in Doctor Sleep.
From Mission Impossible and Doom.
Correct, but her character in Doctor Sleep is phenomenal. But it worked on me really a lot. And then I really loved The Last Black Man in San Francisco. You seen that?
I've not. Is that Jonathan Majors?
It is Jonathan Majors.
That was the first thing he did. I'm a big fan. He did Defy Bloods. He did a TV show called Lovecraft Country.
Correct. All those things. It was Jonathan Majors and a guy named Jimmy Fails, and it's like First of all, if you don't even want to watch the movie, you don't have to go watch like the first 10 minutes of it, and you will get it. Like it is awesome. It has one of like the best openings I've ever seen. After that, it kind of dips down a little bit, but it's about these two brothers, or they're not even brothers, but they're two childhood friends, and their dad tells them that they had this nice house in San Francisco growing up, and they had to get rid of it. And now these guys basically want to get this house back, and it's like their mission to try to get the house back.
Okay.
And it's just a really sweet, heartwarming movie about these two guys. Acting's really cool. Some really good music scenes in it. Pretty good.
Last Black Man in San Francisco.
Yeah, if you need to check it out, Last Black Man in San Francisco. That and Dr. Sleep are two we haven't talked about. There's one other thing. We didn't talk about Irishman in this whole movie discussion.
Doesn't deserve
And
to be talked about.
I wasn't a huge Irishman fan, but I'm just trying to
I
say
didn't
that's
even
like,
watch The Irishman. That's like
there's gonna be someone
It's
that
so
watches
boring.
this and they're gonna be like, wow, they didn't even mention Irishman once. So
no. I mean, I like Martin Scorsese made The Departed, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. So he's a legend.
Yeah.
But I do not care to watch The Irishman.
it didn't do it for me though. But I figured it definitely needs to be mentioned.
Okay. Well, credit for the movie draft goes to the Big Picture podcast, which is one of my favorite podcasts. I believe one of yours.
Yeah, it is. I love it. Yeah.
I don't know. If Sean Fennessy or Chris Ryan or Amanda Dobbins watches this, we love you.
Yeah.
And thank you for giving us this idea.
They're the best.
Yeah,
That was good.
All right.
Yeah.
Dude, thank you, Morgan, Kenrick, Kendall, Mariana,
Bells.
Bells especially,
Oh my gosh.
the star of this show. This was so much fun. I would love to do this again. Maybe in a little more calm circumstance, or maybe not. I don't know.
I think we should make it more hectic.
Bells,
Bring my
Bells,
dog.
and yeah,
I can bring my
Gunther,
dog.
Bruno.
Bruno and Lucky, they'll have a ball.
Well, I'm going to end it here. So to recap one more time, in drama, I have Uncut Gems, Kenrick has Little Women, and Morgan has Joker. In foreign language or comedy, I have Parasite, Kenrick has Portrait of a Lady on Fire, and Morgan has The Farewell. In action or horror, I have Spider-Man Far From Home, Kenrick has Ad Astra, and Morgan has Us. In blockbuster, I have Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Kenrick has 1917, and Morgan has Avengers Endgame. In Oscar nominee, I have Knives Out, Kenrick has Marriage Story, Morgan has Jojo Rabbit. And in wildcard, I have The Art of Self-Defense, Kenrick has Climax, and Morgan has Fire. Netflix, not Hulu, as is noted in Kendall's notes on the screen. Thank you for watching. See you next time.
Yeah.
My honorary choice was perfect.
Oh my god.
Pitch Perfect.
It's perfect.
We'll just edit that
We're
out.
like 9 years.
What was your honor? You wanna say it for the
No,
camera?
I don't.
You wanna say it for the camera?
No, I don't.
Cats. Like
Cats.
Oh, we didn't mention
Anything with James Corden in it, actually.